we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, maybe I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Jake Bachoven with you once again. What's up, Bach? Oh, wrong microphone. There you go.
I'm doing fine.
How's it going?
Give me a voice.
I know, you're here. Don't worry. Once again, no Rico. He's out this entire week. It will be Bach and I the next 2 hours here, but plenty to talk about. 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln Hotline. The Sartor Heyman text line, both those open for you guys. Oh, we got people trying to do the first text of the day. So we had this thing right when we started the show, which in a week will be a year.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so
Congrats.
anyway, thank you. So right when we started, it was like this big deal for first text of the happy hour ever, right? And then it just kind of started to become a thing, and then I realized it was stupid to, have the first text of the day, and people are trying to bring it back right now.
Who got it?
Downtown Scott, congratulations!
There you go, Downtown
Scott. Here's the thing: like, we'll sometimes have like one person text in, but we had 3 people text in saying first, and
that's the goal.
It's truly remarkable. It just kind of happens randomly. Chase B did ask, says, "All right, Nick, let's hear your side of the story from earlier in the Captain Show." So if you were listening to the Captain Show, you heard him kind of get on me a little bit, yell at me for trying to tell him what to do. Hey, here's the deal. Vershawn, as you guys know, is very passionate in everything he does. He's very vocal about everything he wants as well. And that's not a bad thing because I know Vershawn's listening as well, so I have to be careful because he said he was going to be listening. But earlier in the show, Vershawn in the commercial break is like, can we call our guest, Randy Stella, former Husker linebacker, from this machine inside the studio? And I was like, nah, you got to go in the production studio and call him. And he's like, yes, you can. You can call him from in here. I was like, Vershawn, no, you cannot. And he's like, don't tell you. They turned it into like a don't tell me what to do kind of thing. And I was like, no, you cannot call him from inside the studio. He's like, no, go ahead and just do it. I was like, I can't. And so that's my side of the story. There's some context of a 21-year-old telling a 47-year-old what he can do. What he can't do.
Was he legitimately upset?
No, I don't think he would. No. That's the thing is people on the text line, I believe, were thinking that he was serious.
Yeah.
And that we are serious. Because somebody else texted and was like, man, you guys Vershawn wanted to kill Nick earlier. I left for 30 minutes. I come back and Vershawn's still mad at Nick. And I was like, no, it's not like that at all. That's just
you guys are doing day by day again, though.
Yeah, we did. I guess
a little bit more oomph this time, I think.
Yeah, we got fired up today. All right, 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline, the Sartor Heyman text line, both those open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the video stream, also sponsored by Sartor Heyman Jewelers on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And you can always hit up me and Jake at me and Jake. I never call you Jake. Me and Bach on Twitter, Nick_Sainer, and at Jake Bachoven as well. So, Bach, there was a little bit of news last night in the college football world, it is that ESPN has backed out of a media rights deal with the Big Ten Conference. And so, how does this? First, I want to play this for you, and I want to get your gut reaction, your instant reaction on how you feel when you hear this song. So why am I playing the CBS Saturday football theme song? Well, it's reported by the Sporting Business Journal that CBS, NBC, and Fox will be the 3 partners for the Big Ten Conference.
All
And
3-letter networks,
leaving,
huh?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Leaving ESPN out of the fold.
Along with ABC.
Along with ABC,
right.
Yes. So we were texting back and forth last night because we have a group chat with me, you, Rico, and Nathan. And we were texting back and forth when this came out. And you said something along the lines of, you're sad that there's not going to be any more random ESPN2 games with Beth Mowins on the
That's
call.
That's right. The early ESPN2, we always knew, like, if Purdue was playing Maryland, that would be ESPN2 with Beth Mullins at 11.
Now, that's nothing against Beth Mowins. It's just a staple.
Yeah.
It's just
and often Iowa was involved in those games.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think Ryan on the text line, once again, 402-464-5685 says chills every time I hear that song.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. You'll also hear something along the lines of this if this is announced. This was a game. Here's the funny thing about it. This is a matchup between USC and Notre Dame, possibly a future Big Ten matchup.
There you go.
So here's what it could sound like, an NBC primetime game with a Big Ten school. Oh, man.
Good evening from South Bend. Clear skies. Temperature in the 40s. Perfect fall evening at Notre Dame Stadium for the renewal of college football's greatest intersectional rivalry. Built by championship teams, Heisman Trophy winners, and producing some of the most memorable moments in the sport's history. Notre Dame USC, forever a part of college football history. The Irish are number 13 in the country, 5-1, only lost to number 2 Cincinnati. USC is 3-3. They've played their best away from the Coliseum. They have won their last 8 road games. Can they pull the upset in college football's cathedral tonight? Notre Dame SC one more time here in South Bend. And good evening. Welcome, everyone. Mike Tirico, future Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ, Drew Brees. Catherine Tappan joins us in a second.
So Mike Tirico, Drew Brees, and then whatever sideline reporter they have now at NBC. I know Maria Taylor's part of NBC as well now. But here's the thing. Like, so the article came out last night, and this is by John Urand. It says this. ESPN has pulled out of the Big Ten media rights negotiations entirely, ending one of the longest sports media relationships in the business. That move clears the way for CBS and NBC to join Fox Sports as Big Ten broadcasters starting with the 2023 school year. It mentions that a formal announcement could come as early as this week, but it could push into next week. So here's a little more details on it. As part of the deal's terms, CBS is expected to carry a football game in the 2:30 p.m. Central Time window on Saturdays, and NBC would carry one in primetime. So the way it would shape out is that Fox, right, Big Noon Kickoff will have the 11 a.m. game, while CBS, and you'll have Brad Nessler on the call.
There you go.
Brad Nessler, and I'm blanking on the other name of the other guy.
Is Vern Lundquist still doing it?
No, Vern stopped, I think, in like 2017.
Yeah.
Gary Danielson.
Gary.
So you'll have Brad and Gary on the call at 2:30. And then so somebody says Drew Brees is no longer with NBC, and I think that's right. I did hear that. So whoever's with NBC and maybe Mike Tirico.
Man, they need to put together, Tirico's great. They need to put together a little, it looks like NBC's put more money into college football coverage other than just Notre Dame. So I think that they'll probably maybe have a Notre Dame broadcast and, this nightly broadcast. And I think they'll put a little bit more into it because traditionally they've just kind of thrown somebody in there.
Can you name, so here's a little trivia. Can you name the last time Nebraska played on CBS?
Not off the top of my head.
So it was the Gator Bowl back in, was it, it wasn't 09. Gator Bowl back in the first 10 years of the 2000s against Clemson.
Okay. Yeah, that was 2008 then.
2008, yes.
Yeah, Dabo Swinney and Bo Pelini.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Dabo Swinney. It was Dabo Swinney when he was the interim.
Yeah.
So Dabo was
CJ Spiller.
Yes, CJ Spiller. So actually, it's going to be interesting. Let's go ahead and look up that Clemson, 2008 Clemson. Because anyway, it's going to be interesting. So the reported deal that ESPN turned down was for 7 years, $380 million per year. And so when you put that into perspective, this deal is eclipsing $1 billion. It's truly remarkable how much money they're going to be able to get for this media rights deal. And it's the Big Ten, right? We talked about the value that USC and UCLA bring, not only the TV market, but just also for USC more specifically, just historical prestige, I suppose. But you talk about USC and UCLA, they're going to become full media partners right out of the gate. And that's huge for them as not only an institution, but for money to spread out throughout their athletic programs. So when you talk about paydays for individual institutions, this deal is great because not only does it give you coverage on multiple networks, it also, your conference will span throughout the entire country, and it will allow you to earn more money and spread more money to your obviously your athletic programs that don't make as much money as football.
And you wonder too, when you're discussing this, obviously UCLA and USC, they might be more, just because of their time zone, into the late game with NBC. So maybe NBC is kind of thinking a little bit more, we'll take the California teams, put them along with Notre Dame, and we'll run from there. Or maybe more Big Ten teams will get that nightly slot. But I'd venture to guess more often than not it'd be UCLA or USC.
So along with this, obviously, like Fox is the biggest partner in this whole thing because they own 49% of the Big Ten network or whatever. So they're the biggest. They're the biggest player in all of this. So you're still going to have games on FS1 and on maybe even Fox Business or whatever the Nebraska's game was on against Bethune-Cookman that one year. But for the first couple minutes, but it's still interesting because it just once again shows how college football is changing. Now I want to go down the avenue of, does this mean it's a shoe-in for Notre Dame to join the conference eventually? Because the first thought that I had, and I can't remember if I texted you guys this last night, the first thought that I had was that it makes for a very smooth and easy transition because Notre Dame has worked with NBC and vice versa. And when their media deal expires, they're going to look and say, all right, who's NBC dealing with already? It's the Big Ten. And that's from just a football standpoint or an athletic standpoint. You're not even talking about academics there, where the Big Ten and Notre Dame fit perfectly as well. So I wonder if it's a shoe-in, if it's like, all right, this is a move with NBC specifically for 5, 6, 7 years down the road, to where if it's a 7-year deal, you're looking at 2030 that this will expire. And by that time, you're expecting college football to look completely different. You're expecting mega conferences, and you're expecting Notre Dame to eventually join a conference. And so if you're sitting there and saying, all right, Notre Dame, which conference would you rather join? And Big Ten, are you okay with Notre Dame joining? It's a resounding yes, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps. I don't know if it necessarily makes this for sure that Notre Dame's going to join. They still, they've been always able to get their way being independent. The BCS tie-in, the college football playoff, how it's set up. They have the athletic director on the committee when everybody else has their conference commissioner. So there's got to be, they got to be losing money on this. And so that's what you wonder too, is if NBC is putting more of their money into the Big Ten package, maybe less so on Notre Dame, is that going to affect, maybe Notre Dame jumps to a different company? I mean, it's, I just think that still you're going to have to give Notre Dame a reason to join, and it's got to be like everything else. It's got to be money. I just don't know. I mean, because it makes you wonder too, is NBC going to do a Notre Dame game during the day and then have this night game?
That's the thing. Is Notre Dame going to be kind of pissed off that they don't get a primetime slot on NBC?
Yeah.
So I do wonder kind of how that's going to look. We're getting a lot of questions, and we can address this deeper maybe in the next segment. With ESPN backing out, I mean, after this season, you're not going to see any Nebraska or any college football or basketball games on ESPN network like that. Yeah. This is going to affect more than just football. And so you go down the list, and it's college basketball, college football, college baseball, college softball. It's getting wiped away from the ESPN family of networks and ABC, obviously. And you just wonder, is this really the greatest move? Is this move? I saw Sam McEwen of the Omaha World Herald put out an article asking the question of, is it going to feel like, is it going to have a campus vibe, or will it feel like a corporate vibe when you move to CBS, NBC, and obviously Fox?
Well, I just think it will hurt. I mean, it's gonna, you have You're not going to get College Game Day or stuff like that. I mean, ESPN's just going to.
That's crazy too. That's another thing I wanted to talk about.
I mean, you're not going to get as much reported on you. They're going to focus a lot more on what's going to make them money, which is building up those SEC games. So you might want to get used to going watching the big noon kickoffs or whatever. But I mean, they'll still talk about it. It just won't. I mean, we've seen for years. It's already been the case. It's just kind of followed the money, and that's who they're going to cover, and it makes sense for them. The only way the way that I see this kind of hurts them is that NBC, Fox, I mean, this is kind of spread apart, right? With CBS, but none of these programs are just running sports programming at all times. ESPN is. And so that's where I can see it kind of hurt, and maybe you lose the discussion. I know McEwen did have a great article kind of talking about, is the college football playoff, weekly show still going to be on there? Is the Heisman show still going to be on there on ESPN? Because you might be hurting yourself a little bit in coverage from ESPN in that way. But you got 3-letter networks all bidding for you, and it's a historic deal.
So what's interesting now, and I forgot to mention earlier, and once again, we'll pick this up in the next segment because we are running out of time here in the first segment just because we have EAS on a Tuesday. But I forgot to mention that NBC is also connected to Peacock, which is the streaming service, and they're going to carry college football games on their channel. And I mentioned this a couple months ago when this whole story of how much money they're going to generate and get from this media rights deal is that this is a very stressful and crucial time for Kevin Warren and a decision for Kevin Warren. Because they have to be strategic to where 7 years down the road they want to cater their product to what is current in TV and in streaming, right? So if 6 years down the road cable is gone and streaming is the only thing, you don't want to have to be stuck on cable when you're going to be dealing with fewer people, if that makes sense. Where it's like, would you want to go on Amazon or Apple TV in 5 years if it's dead? Like if it doesn't take off like we expect streaming to, do you really want to be connected to it and have your product tied with it and see the ACC sign with one of these major networks and get $350 million a year?
Well, but I think those companies aren't just going to dissolve and go nowhere. I mean,
that's true.
Like NBC, they're going to get, you have Peacock. I'm not sure if CBS or Fox has one directly, but they would if cutting the cord really becomes a bigger issue. So I think and they've got those deals with, kind of halfway deals there with Peacock and streaming devices. So I think that they'll probably be safe here.
Yeah, in this article, once again, by the Sports Business Journal, they said that they expect an announcement as early as this week, later in the week, obviously, or into early next week. John Oren, the writer for Sports Business Journal, once again, as part of the deal terms, CBS is expected to carry a football game in the 3:30 p.m. Eastern time window on Saturdays, and NBC would carry one in prime time. NBC's Peacock streaming service will carry an undetermined number of games per year exclusively. Peacock also will simulcast the games that air on NBC. ESPN said no to the conference final offer of a 7-year deal for $380 million per year to keep the package. The package was for linear only games. It did not have any direct to consumer rights. So they say that CBS is expected to pay around $350 million for its package, and NBC will also pay $350. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Meyer, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
The dog days of summer are here. Is your yard in need of a touch-up as we head into the fall season? August, September, and October are the months for aeration, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn is the place to call to get the job done right. If you're noticing any issues with your sprinkler system through the hot summer months, they're always a call away, and they're already scheduling installs for sprinkler systems for next year and all other lawn care needs. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and things are cooking in Louisville. Right now, our pre-owned sales are off the charts, and we have loaded up the lots full of inventory. We've got a great supply of Sierras, Silverados, Tahoes, Yukons, and crossovers. Plus, we've got a great supply of back-to-school cars just in time for the big day. Don't forget about all of those new 2022 and 2023 units arriving every day as well. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Expect sunny skies and a bit of a warm-up here for our Tuesdays. We'll top out at around 88. Wind should remain light out of the south at around 10. Mainly cleared tonight, a low dropping down to around 63. The heat will build in further as we head into the middle of the week. Highs tomorrow and Thursday around 95. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary. Presented by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick and Bach with you. So once again, as we just kind of put a bow on it, ESPN is out of the Big Ten media rights talks. Looks like CBS, NBC are set to join Fox in a kind of a three-way partnership for the media rights to the Big Ten Conference.
An alliance? The alliance?
Oh, is the alliance back?
It's a different alliance.
It's a different alliance, but is it back? Is there?
Could be.
We love Kevin Warren loves alliances. He loves alliances. Once again, if you just joined us, as part of the deal term, CBS is expected to carry a football game in the 2:30 p.m. Central Time window, and NBC would carry one in prime time because obviously Fox will carry big noon kickoff at 11 a.m. with Gus and Joel on the call.
Which is also interesting. The 2:30 CBS game historically does really well in the ratings.
Exactly.
But is it going to do as well? Because how much of it's going to be ratings versus like fan base? Like, because the SEC has the biggest fan bases. Big Ten's right there with them. But I mean, obviously, if you don't, there's certain schools within the Big Ten that don't measure up to that. So I don't know. I'm interested to see if that kind of sticks around. Or, I mean, the prevailing thought is you're going to have Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State probably in those time slots. USC, just the dominant brands, regardless.
I'm curious. Like, I don't know if they'll put. So one of the games I was just watching, like earlier today when this came out and I was prepping for the show, I watched the Auburn-Alabama game, the Iron Bowl from last year, where Bryce Young and Alabama with a minute and 20-some seconds on the clock went 70 yards against Auburn, down by 7.
Like the first breath of offense.
Yeah, ended up going 4 overtimes and they won.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Auburn's quarterback was playing on a bum ankle and everything like that. Bo Nix was out. And so, like, I just wonder what game, and maybe this is bad to say, but, like, what rivalry game are you going to see on CBS? Is it going to be the Paul Bunyan Axe rivalry? Like, are those rivalry games between Wisconsin and Iowa and Wisconsin and Minnesota just going to automatically be put on CBS? Because that's like they were most of the time in this 2:30 ABC slot.
Yeah, I definitely could see it. I think that it's kind of fun to think of the rivalry games. It just feels like in these time slots. Maybe it's just because it's new. Mm-hmm. It feels elevated, but it does a little to me with the 3-letter networks. And ABC's kind of got their thing. They're the 3-letter network as well. ESPN has evolved almost into its kind of own beast, but really only, sometimes they'd put it out at the nightly time slot, but that wasn't their like prime time game. Was usually on ABC.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated. I mean, does Nebraska, Iowa finally get out of the BTN hole that they've been in? Is one of these companies interested in going for the Black Friday game? I mean, I suppose that Ohio State, Michigan will probably stay with Fox. who's got the.
That's the thing, because
prevailing
remember,
rights here.
remember, Fox is trying to make that 11 a.m. slot just like a primetime slot on ABC.
Right.
Like they're trying to put the best game of the day, whether it's in the conference or what they believe is in the country, at that 11 a.m. slot. So like you're still going to see probably Michigan, Ohio State at that time slot, Ohio State, Michigan State, a lot of Ohio State, a lot of USC, I'm sure, when they join the conference, which makes it interesting, like you said, Bach, because that means they're playing a game at 9 a.m. California time. Now, we know fan base out there isn't too passionate. Like it's not like a Nebraska or an Ohio State or a Michigan fan base out at the Coliseum. But if it's at home, if it's a USC home game, you're playing at 9 a.m. out there.
It takes an hour to get anywhere in LA.
Yeah, like it's going to be interesting to see. Like now, we'll schedule favor USC a little bit, I'm sure. But if they want to if Fox, who is the biggest player in all of this, if they want to keep have a USC home game, if it's a USC, I don't know, even USC Nebraska, because there's going to be a lot of history, there's going to be a lot of storylines, and eyes are going to be on it. It's going to be interesting to see if Fox is like, listen, we're going to keep that one to ourselves. And if we're playing a game and we're calling a game at 9 a.m. out in California, it is what it is.
And it's just the multiple games of the week that are going to be played out throughout here, because NBC, you got to think their prime time slot. They're going to call it the game of the week. The CBS is going to have their own game of the week. And then where are these other conferences? You have to remember the Big Ten and the SEC are not the only conferences that everybody's focusing on, because that's the big time deals they're going to get. But, you can pepper in Big 12 rights and Pac-12 rights and ACC rights here and there. So you're going to see those games coming along as well. But I don't know. Especially when you kind of think about Fox kind of has a thing with the Pac-12, I believe. CBS, it's hard to imagine anything besides the SEC or Army Navy on there.
It's so wild. It is so wild to think like you're not going to have the SEC on CBS anymore.
Yeah. When I hear that music, I think Florida, Tennessee.
It is literally the SEC on CBS theme song.
Like,
they're going to have to probably rebrand the entire song.
Don't take away the song.
They're going to, Bach. You're not going to hear. Hold on. You're not going to hear this anymore. This is dead.
I don't think so. I think they're going to keep it.
This is dead. This is SEC. This is from 2019, by the way.
Yeah. It all sounds the same.
Exactly. I made sure of that. SEC on CBS. This is dead.
Well, just Big Ten on CBS. I mean, like that still sounds still.
It does not.
I think they keep it. Yeah. That's like synonymous with here's some college football. Let's roll. They don't want to put in a new song in there.
They're going to have to rebrand CBS.
I don't think so.
They need to. CBS is. Did Kevin Warren make a mistake? Because we were talking during the break, and I hate to keep beating a dead horse here, but we were talking during the break, like ESPN understands and knows the landscape of college football better than anyone. They understand it, right? College Game Day obviously is a big player in that. You have names like David Pollock, Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler. Obviously, Lee Corso is part of that. Like, I just named the College Game Day crew. Yeah. But you have these big-time names in there, and they, like I said, they know the layout and the landscape of college football better than anyone. Is the Big Ten Conference, in your mind, making a mistake by not even including ESPN a little bit?
Well, I think they tried to. At some point, you feel like you got to go with the best bid. These are competitors with ESPN, so eventually you just got to go with the best bid. You could take a lower offer to try to stay more into the college football realm. I thought it was a good point again by Sam McEwen and his article. The interesting part here is that Fox, CBS, and NBC all primarily are going to be focused on NFL. NFL draws more ratings, makes more money. ESPN has Monday Night Football, but it's one game a week. Their whole package, their biggest package, is built around college football. Yeah. And that's going to shift toward more of the SEC, away from the Big Ten. And again, so you just kind of think about the college football daily shows, all those, the Heisman show, the college football playoff show, all those things are centered on ESPN, and they already were somewhat lenient. They had the SEC network. They already, in past years, you've heard people say that they're just partners with the SEC, and they're building them up and propping them up, and that will probably continue and be more so the case moving forward. You can't just not talk about Ohio State in USC or whoever's in the, Michigan, if they're in the playoff picture, but you can certainly fade it a bit.
Yeah. And Nebraska Nolan says this on the text line. Once again, Honda of Lincoln hotline, starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Nebraska Nolan says that would be awesome. Maybe the Big Ten will now have a Pac-12 after dark flavor for whoever is playing USC and UCLA in a late window. That would be awesome. USC versus Penn State in the late night window slot. It would be sweet.
That would be cool.
Turning on the Big Ten network and it's USC and, like you said, okay, Penn State playing it in the Coliseum,
or it's just UCLA at this point because USC is
exactly. Maybe some national.
Yeah, there's gonna be some important games in there. UCLA just takes our Pac-12 after dark spot.
Okay, so UCLA and who could you put in there? UCLA and I don't know, Iowa.
Oh yeah,
that'd be sweet.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be awesome.
That might draw too early. See, you got to get like the Maryland, UCLA and Maryland.
I was trying to think of somebody not so far East Coast.
Yeah.
Michigan State. Well, that's a big
UCLA
game.
Northwestern sounds like that is
atrocious.
That's a tough one.
That is horrible. UCLA Minnesota.
There you go.
UCLA Minnesota.
PJ Fleck after dark. Oh man.
PJ Fleck. After dark. Yes, perfect. He's Nebraska Nolan says great for gambling, which I mean, I guess I suppose so. But yeah, that's interesting to think about. Once again, before we head to break, we'll finish up on the other side of this commercial break. ESPN execs believe that they would have to have paid $380 million per year to keep the package, which was much higher than they were willing to go. ESPN has carried Big Ten football games since 1982. And ABC started carrying Big Ten games in 1966. So Fox Sports will carry the A package of games in the noon Saturday window. FS1 and BTN will also carry an undetermined number of games. Sources confirmed the report that CBS will pay around $350 million for its package, and NBC will also pay $350 million per year for its package. Now, Bach, remember, originally, we were supposed to hear this media rights deal at Memorial Day, around Memorial Day, back in May. Then it was, we're not hearing anything about it. It's very quiet. We haven't heard any reports because back about a week and a half before Memorial Day, I remember having these conversations because we found out that Fox representatives were sitting in with Kevin Warren on these meetings with other representatives or people from media rights company or media companies. And so, number one, it squeezed all the other media companies for everything they're worth because they understand the game they're playing, having Fox company or Fox representatives in there. And also, it showed obviously that Fox was still going to be the biggest player in the media rights package. Then it got really quiet, and we found out that USC and UCLA were joining the Big Ten, supposedly out of nowhere. And so we're like, all right, cool. We're going to hear something by Big Ten Media Days because that's the perfect talking point for Kevin Warren to talk about how good his conference is going to be here in a couple years because they're going to have USC, UCLA. They're going to have the biggest media rights package in the country just because the SEC just signed with ESPN last year. And then it was nothing again. And so finally, it looks like at the end of this week or maybe early next week, we're going to find out what the media rights package for the Big Ten Conference will look like. All right, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Let's go ahead and take our final time out here. Once again, no Rico, no Nathan this week. So Bach and I will be hanging out with you guys from 2 to 4 every single day. Yes, Bach. Ow. There's the energy.
I hurt myself trying to do something cool.
Yeah. That's the energy though that we need.
Yeah,
there.
that's some energy.
So when we come back, we'll dive into Husker football. We want to talk Devin Drew a little bit because he is still not on campus. If you haven't heard, this is what it sounded like at the press conference when Scott Frost last Friday was asked if Devin Drew is on campus. I pushed the wrong button. Dang it.
He should be here soon.
So there's that answer from Scott Frost. And let's dive into that a little bit. How big of a concern is it with Devin Drew probably not going to be fully ready to go in the first couple games of the season? Because we've always talked about how important it is for Nebraska to start off quick, start off fast, 3-0 start. You haven't had one under Scott Frost. So we'll kind of dive into that conversation coming up. Nick and Bach with you on the Happy Hour on the Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cottle.
As fall camp starts for Nebraska high school football teams, Class B Lincoln Northwest is having their first ever practices. Led by head coach Brian Luck, the Falcons will play their first game on August 26th against Ralston. Top 150 high school football prospect Malachi Coleman has released a list of his top 7 schools. Nebraska was listed alongside other Division I schools like Georgia and USC. One of the state's best baseball prospects in the class of 2022 is coming to Nebraska. Lincoln East left-hander Jalen Worthley announced his commitment to the Huskers on Friday. The left-handed pitcher was previously committed to San Jose State, but after coaching changes and a strong Legion performance during the summer, Worthley has decided to flip his commitment to the University of Nebraska. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
My computer was a dinosaur, and our TV, well, let's just say it was definitely time for an upgrade. But finding a way wasn't so simple. And then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. I earned cash for the study and was able to make those much-needed upgrades. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
The dog days of summer are here. Is your yard in need of a touch-up as we head into the fall season? August, September, and October are the months for aeration, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn is the place to call to get the job done right. If you're noticing any issues with your sprinkler system through the hot summer months, they're always a call away, and they're already scheduling installs for sprinkler systems for next year and all other lawn care needs. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour one final time here. Nick and Bach with you. Shout out to Rico. I know this is his favorite rejoin, so if you're listening, Rico, that was for you. All right, couple minutes left here in the show. I want to talk Devin Drew for a moment and just kind of thoughts on Nebraska football in general, because there's been a little bit of a concern that Devin Drew is not on campus yet. Now, we don't know how the academic structure or schedule at Texas Tech works out, and maybe he's not graduated yet. Maybe he is, and he's just waiting on a couple things for Nebraska. But unfortunately, Devin Drew not on campus, and Nebraska's just kind of running through team activities without him now. Here's the thing. We didn't get to talk to anybody today, obviously. But tomorrow we'll get to watch practice. So at 8:45 to 9:15-ish or so, we'll be in there watching practice, and we'll see kind of if Devin Drew's practicing, if there's any new injuries we need to update you guys on, things like that. But I guess, Bach, where's our concern level for Devin Drew right now?
I think it's getting there. I mean, they're not letting you know or setting the panic mode here as far as like, well, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. The message continues to be, yeah, he'll be here in a few days. The more days pass by, the more you worry a little bit more about it. But again, Sip said the other day, I think he was expected to be here on the 5th. He expects him here by the end of the week. So maybe it's not the biggest deal in the world, and it is somewhat going according to plan. I mean, a little bit later again, but close to plan. I guess just for us, I mean, on the outside that didn't know that this was going to happen, It seems a little alarming. It seems like, maybe he's not going to give you quite the jump or maybe start right away like you expect him to. But I think I feel pretty good about the depth there. You feel a little bit better with him there, but you know, you can name 4 guys that can play
Yeah.
defensive tackle going into Northwestern and feel pretty good about it.
Now, it's interesting because obviously when you talk from a depth perspective or depth discussion, you would like to have another guy, especially a guy as experienced as Devin Drew, be there and kind of help out that room, especially the younger guys in that room. I mean, Devin Drew is going to come in here as one of the more experienced guys on that interior defensive line group. And when you look around and Damian Daniels is gone, DeAndre Thomas is gone. Obviously Casey Rogers, who played a little bit of both as well, is no longer with the program. So you kind of have to sit here and wonder, you know, what's the future of this program look like? We might be able to talk about this here coming up in the 3:00 hour. It'll be myself and Jake Bachhoven sticking around. Don't go anywhere. I want to hear your guys' thoughts the entire show today. It's kind of been like the happy water cooler or the ticket happy hour, I guess, if you want to just blend the two shows together. Want to hear from you guys the entire day today, 402-464-5685. Maybe when Strick gets here, we'll bring him in as well. But you can expect a lot more Husker football discussion on the other side of this break. It's not necessarily goodbye, as they say. It is see you later. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488